Everybody, this is Ethan with another Funko Pop unboxing video, and today we're looking at the common figures from The Shining. So the set, as you can see on the box that we're going to start off with, is the three main characters of the story, and these are basically the only characters they made for this Funko line. They also made the Grady twins from that one scene where the twin ghost girls show up and, ask Danny to come play with them, and he sees the horrible visions of what happened to them. But those are a Target exclusive. I'm working on acquiring those down the road, but in the meantime, we have the back of Wendy's box, and as you can see, these are all based off of the Stanley Kubrick version, which is my personal favorite. I did not really enjoy the miniseries, despite Stephen King finding it to be a more faithful adaptation, but it doesn't necessarily mean it made for a better viewing experience. But anyway, without further ado, back to the toys. Like I said, we have the back of the box, and as you can see, it shows the common versions of Jack Torrance, Wendy, and Danny. And I love all the sculpts because they look like they came right out of the movie, especially Jack Nicholson, who I love how most people he plays in his famous roles are either named Jack or honestly he's just playing Jack Nicholson just with a different name. But he is still a fantastic actor. But what they do have going on with these figures that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I'll go over that in more detail when I pull out the figures, is everybody has some kind of weapon, and it's going to make taking photographs of these characters not related to The Shining. So if I mix things up, maybe put them with I don't know, Murder, She Wrote or something, it's just going to look kind of awkward to have a 5-year-old running around with a knife. So aside from that, that's my only real gripe, is that that's a thing. But I'm also trying something different this time around, just real quick, to explain. I'm starting out with a view of the back of the box because I'm trying this camera angle and setup for right now to see if this works better, because as I said in my previous video about the Cobra Kai figures, this works a little better for me, I find, because I can actually see what's in frame, whereas it was a lot of guesswork, yet I was able to show off more. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. But anyway, let's show off the rest of the box before we get to the figures. So I'm going to move over to the glam shot for Wendy, where they always have kind of a themed side panel going on. And honestly, the art's fantastic on these boxes, but I'm just kind of a bad collector and I just don't keep the boxes, because if I kept all the boxes, I just wouldn't have room for anything. And as you can see, I've already removed the character out of the box because I'm also trying that as a new thing, just to see if it makes things go a little more smoothly. But you can see just a bigger image of Wendy's face there. And then, as always, there's her name. But we're going to get to the character. I already set up as well, because most female Funkos come with these little standing bases, which are super helpful. I just think it's always funny that it's 9 times out of 10 the female characters, because just the way the body is proportioned and the head. But as you can see, very nice sculpt, and I honestly just, it's kind of uncanny how she looks. I mean, obviously she's got the whole super deformed look going on that Funko's famous for, but she looks just like what I remember the character from the movie looking like, and that's just, you really can't take anything away from that. It's just a good looking figure, and she wasn't my favorite character for the longest time out of the movie because I kept remembering the miniseries version. And then I think it was last year actually that I finally watched the Kubrick version again, and it was such a different everything. Everything just seemed kind of better. So I highly recommend, if you do go to watch The Shining, you check out that version. I'm sorry, Stephen King, you can't always be correct, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to move that box out of the way, but we're going to look at Danny's box real quick, just because. So we've got the front view. Again, I removed the figure already, just to make things kind of a little more smooth and less crinkly. Here's the glam shot on the side. Back of the box with the same character lineup for the commons. And then, of course, there's his name. And then here is the character. And again, this is a fantastic looking figure. I'm gonna love taking pictures of this next to Georgie from It, it's just gonna be like really cool to have the two of those movies connected. But again, like I said, like it's cool for pictures for The Shining that he has this knife, but it's just gonna look so weird in every other picture that I take. So, like, that's really my only complaint. But overall, as you guys can see, it's just another really good likeness of the character. The thing I've noticed about a lot of Stephen King figures, since I've been collecting a lot of them, is there's not a lot of like dynamic things you can really do with them, since a lot of these characters are just people in unique circumstances. So not like any like weird like energy effects or anything that I really need to go into detail about, but I kind of like that also. I think the most dynamic though is definitely the Jack Torrance that we're going to look at, and this is kind of the last figure but not really. So here's the front of the box. Here's the glam shot on the side, the back of the box, and as you can see, like, it just eerily looks like Jack Nicholson. It's just so crazy how well they're able to make these, you know, deformed figures, basically, these stylized, probably just a better word for it, just look like the actual character from the movie. But I love how simple yet effective the sculpt is here with the giant axe he's got. I mean, it's not really giant, but I mean, it's big enough that the grown man's holding it in two hands. So anyway, I think they did a really good job. Again, basically Jack Nicholson, Jack Torrance in the movie is it's slowly descending into madness, and then eventually tries to kill his family. So I mean, he's just a normal dude. So again, I think they did a lot of really nice things with what they were working with just normal people, and the chase is definitely probably the best example of how good everything turned out. Again, I think I'm going to keep it in the box for now, because this is actually an early birthday present for my mom. Shout out to her. And I was really excited to be able to find it. I got these all actually from a friend downstate, and he's been having some hard times, but he had a bunch of these figures still, and I'm just really happy to be able to get the chase. The box is the same, as you can tell from the glam shot, but it's just such a cool figure because this is Jack Torrance frozen, so based off basically the end of the movie after Danny escapes and Jack's just like trapped outside in the snowstorm. And it's also really cool because this version is, I want to say, unique to the Kubrick version, because if I remember right, the miniseries definitely did not end with Jack Torrance outside freezing to death. I believe the hotel actually exploded. So correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a while, but I like that this kind of rounds out the collection very nicely, and it's a really good idea for a chase. Some chases I've seen, they might glow in the dark or something, and like that's okay, but this is just such a unique and special scene that I actually think it deserves a chase spot. But anyway, thank you again for joining me for another unboxing video. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys stay safe, stay happy, and stay healthy. See you later.